Hey now, y'all. Thank you for joining me this week on SheCast, your safe haven to do what? Exceed expectations. Never, never, never allow the world to limit you. God has a plan for your life. And please know you can always live life without limits, a life you love with purpose on purpose. Okay, so let's get into it this week. I was having a conversation with a young woman last week, and it was pertaining to a previous relationship that she was no longer in and her current relationship that she is now, I guess, currently in. And several things came up during this conversation that are her personal story, of course. So I'm not going to share any specifics or anything about her story. However, it prompted me to say, maybe some of what I'm sharing with her is something I should be sharing with my own tribe. You know, we all as women have had relationship woes, and relationship woes can come at any age. I don't care what stage of your life you're in. So, of course, I'm getting ready to speak to my single ladies because my married ladies are not dating. Okay. We shouldn't be dating if we're married. So, this is for my single ladies, but my married ladies can stay on. Maybe you can, share some of this with some of the younger ladies or younger women in your lives, you know, but, relationship woes, they make us vulnerable, right? And then we tend not to make our best decisions if we are not fully healed from a previous relationship before moving on to a new relationship. And I know we hear that all the time, but do we really take it to heart and apply it? Do we really allow ourselves to heal from a past relationship that we may have been hurt in before moving on and beginning a new relationship? So let's start with this, which for some, it may be a hard one, and for others, not so much. But I want to pose this question to you today. Should you be dating? Should you even be dating? And I know some of you out there are like, what? What you mean? What do you mean, should I be dating? And let me just say this. Not wanting to be by yourself is not a reason for wanting to date. Let's just be clear. I mean, nobody made me the rule maker, right? I'm not the rule maker. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what I know. Just because you don't want to be alone doesn't mean you are in a position to be dating. Okay. So let's lay out some questions that you can ask yourself before you swipe right. Y'all still do that? Is that what it still is? Y'all swiping left and right out in the streets? Or y'all don't do that no more? Y'all out here meeting men like the old fashioned way, like in my day? And I'm just saying, because I don't know, but I do hear a lot of people, talking about meeting people online. And I'm not saying you can't, do the online dating thing. I don't know anything about it. So it's really none of my business. I can't comment on online dating because I've never had to do it. But what I am making my business today, again, is if you should in fact be dating at this stage, this point in your life, should you be dating? I want you to jot down these 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. And when you have time, like really have time to sit down and answer them honestly a little later, because you got to be honest. You have to be able to be transparent with yourself, because if you can't, how will you grow? How will you ever apply anything anyone wants to share with you to help you become a better person if you're not able to be honest with yourself? Just you. You don't have to share with anybody else, just you. So here we go. Number 1, it's going to be 3 questions, y'all. Number 1, do you know what your dating goal is? Matter of fact, do you even have a dating goal? Do you have a dating goal? That's a good starting point, right? Because you should know what your dating objective is. Are you looking for someone to just hang out with sometimes while you maybe are focusing on other aspects of your life, like school or career or, whatever you may be doing? Are you dating in the hopes of meeting a potential lifelong partner? This is important because you want to be able to be honest with yourself about what you're really wanting at this stage in your life. But you also want to be able to be honest with anyone that you may be meeting on your dating journey. Because just like you may have a dating goal, they may also have a dating goal. And so this gives you both the opportunity to make sure that you're on the same page and you're kind of wanting the same things. And let me just put this side note in here. Boop, 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 boop. Side note. You cannot, and I mean, you cannot make someone want what you want if they don't want it. If you meet a man and he says he is not looking for anything serious and he has no desire to get married, or maybe he has no desire to get married anytime soon, please believe him. Please believe him and then make a decision that that if that's something you're okay with, like, are you okay dating a man who says, I never want to get married, or I'm not even thinking about marriage right now, maybe, way down the line, but that's not even on my radar. Because I have met women who have tried to manipulate or guilt men into marrying them. And that is never okay, you guys. It's just not okay. And it usually doesn't end well. And then you have or you have wasted so much time in that relationship thinking that, okay, eventually this person is going to see how awesome and wonderful I am, and they are going to have no choice but to want to marry me. And y'all, I'm just telling you, it usually don't work like that. Instead, you should want someone who wants you because they want you, not because they feel pressured, not because you've given them an ultimatum. I mean, I've had enough conversations with enough men that I have learned one thing. When a man wants to marry you, he will. He will. And it does not take you doing anything other than just being you. A man knows from the jump if they see you as a wife or not. And, even if they're not ready that day, they can see in their mind's eye, like, I could see myself marrying her. Like, I could see me being with her. So even if they're not ready like that day, they're kind of starting to like turn the wheels in their head and begin saying, maybe she might be the one. Maybe I'm looking at her a little bit different than anybody else I've ever dated. But that's it. Okay. Y'all know I will go off somewhere else on a different tangent. I'm trying to stay on task so that my points make sense. So that's another conversation for another day. Maybe we'll talk about that on another episode. So let's keep hopping on over. We're going to hop over to number 2. And this next question is, do you have deal breakers? Like, have you set some boundaries and parameters for what you want in a relationship? And are you firm in what those boundaries or so-called deal breakers are? Do you understand why you've put them in place? And are you firm in them? So you have to be firm in your boundaries, provided they're like realistic boundaries, not nonsense. So you may say, I just simply cannot be with someone who smokes. That is an absolute deal breaker for me. Okay, that makes sense. However, there are some women who have very superficial deal breakers. I hear, a lot of things about the physical. He's got to be at least 6'2". I want him to have a 6-pack. I want him to do this. I want him to drive this. And if you are so caught up in the superficial things, that's okay. Live your best life. But just know you really may be missing out on your blessing. Because if you are bound by the superficial, you may miss what God actually has for you because you're looking for this specific package, and your package that God has packaged for you may look totally different. So, okay, miss out on your blessing if you want to, I knew a young lady, and when I met her, she was like in her late 20s. But as she got into like 30, 31, 32, she really, really desperately wanted to get married. She was really ready to settle down and have children. And some women at that age are, and some aren't. There's no right or wrong. There was nothing wrong with her desiring that at this point in her life. And so she began dating this guy, right? And when she started telling me about him, not only were there just some regular red flags, he had like 3 or 4 of the characteristics or traits that were like things she told me were her like serious deal breakers. I mean, she had always said she didn't want to be with somebody who smoked weed, who cussed, who wasn't financially stable. And I mean, I feel like, okay, that's reasonable. Those are reasonable deal breakers. However, she eventually let go of every deal breaker, which apparently, I mean, I guess it really wasn't truly a deal breaker, because she did compromise. Now, what ended up happening in her particular situation was he had, like I said, several other red flags, that popped out, during their marriage. But before that, she married him anyway, with the deal breakers being broken. She still married him. And so like 3 kids later, those deal breakers that she initially had, they have now become huge problems in their marriage. So mean what you say. And like they say what you mean. And just wait, you guys, wait for what God has for you. I promise you, whatever God has for you is so much better than what you think you want in the now. And so lastly, I have saved number 3 for last because I want this one to really like stick with you, right? And I don't want to say I want to dive a little bit deeper because I feel like they're all kind of just me being able to touch on the surface level for time constraints. But are you healthy enough mentally, emotionally, and most of all, spiritually to enter into the dating world? Meaning, are you whole within yourself? Not looking for a Jerry Maguire moment. Okay, do y'all know who Jerry Maguire is? I might be dating myself. There's probably some people on here who know who Jerry Maguire is. Show me the money. Y'all remember that? So remember that scene in Jerry Maguire when he looked at his girlfriend and was like, "You complete me." And that's good for the movies. And, we were like rooting like, yes, yes. We just rooting this couple on and we're like, true love conquers all. But in reality, no. A man can be your person, right? He can be your person, the person you're compatible with, that you're enjoying life with, but he cannot complete you. He cannot make you whole. A man cannot complete you or make you whole. Please get that in your head. Christ is the only one who can take that job on and do it properly. Anything else is going to be a counterfeit. And honestly, that's really a lot of pressure to put on somebody to complete you, to make you whole. I mean, just think about that. That is a lot of pressure. And really, vice versa. It's not fair for someone else to put that same expectation on you. You can't complete or fix anybody. It's not your job. And I mean, it's just such an unrealistic, unfair expectation. So the person you are when you're entering a relationship, again, should be whole. That other person coming in should be a compliment to your life. They should complement your life. And I don't mean compliment you like with words, like flowery words and saying these wonderful things about you. I mean, like they should add value to what you already have going on. You should be doing well within yourself, all by yourself and good. And this other person coming into this relationship with you should just be an enhancement. You guys should be able to come in together and be a team. But many times we are looking for somebody else to make us feel this thing that we're missing. And so, again, you shouldn't be trying to complete him. He shouldn't be trying to complete you. You should be in a good place all by yourself, and so should he. Specifically healed from past hurts so that you're not bringing them into the new relationship, which we all formally call baggage. You don't want to bring your baggage into your new relationship. You want to make sure that you are good in your emotions, like your emotions are regulated, that you're not feeling like that you have to go off about stuff, that you're flying off the handle, that you're maybe even accusing someone of things they're not doing. And I'm not saying you can't have feelings or reactions to certain situations, but they should be in alignment with whatever the situation is. Like something minor that happens shouldn't trigger you to go way off on a 10 if it's really a 2 situation. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying your emotions need to be regulated. You can't fly off the handle when somebody doesn't meet your expectations, especially it could be an expectation that they didn't even know. They didn't even know that you had. So you should be in a place in your walk with God where you are willing to do things His way, y'all, not your own, and be open to whoever He brings into your life. Some of us can look back at our past track record and know God was like nowhere in the last relationship or even in our decision to date that person. Like, how many of you are honest enough to say, yeah, I've been in some jacked up relationships. I did not seek the Lord. And then I had to get myself out of the relationship and then heal from it. Like, we don't want that, right? So that is a big one. You have to be willing to be obedient if God says, not now. If God is telling you don't date right now, it doesn't mean you can't date forever. Maybe He's just saying He wants to do some work on you. Maybe He wants you to focus on your relationship with Him. Or He might just be saying, okay, that's not the one. He's not the one for you. That's not what I got for you. So whatever God has for us, again, is so much better than anything we could conjure up on our own. And if we could just get that through our thick little heads, we would save ourselves so much heartache and, just so much time wasted for us and also for the other person that we've been in a relationship with. So before I wind it up, I want to give you some C words that I came up with that are in opposition to being a compliment to your life. So I talked about you want somebody that's, complimenting what you already have going on. So if you are experiencing the words I'm about to say in your current relationship, that person is definitely not complimenting the relationship. And you may just want to run, like get out, like go, like that movie, Get Out. I'm just saying. So first, okay, confusion. Have they brought confusion into your life since they've showed up? Conflict. And I don't mean healthy conflict, because healthy conflict is okay. We challenge one another and that's how we grow. But I'm talking about like unhealthy, angry conflict. Chaos. Has your life become more chaotic since dating this person? Do you feel crippled or stifled in any way in your life since dating this person? Do you feel like they're controlling you? Or on the flip side, do you feel like you've taken on a controlling personality, trying to control that person for them to be what you want them to be in the relationship? So if any of those 5 C's are a part of the relationship, then that relationship is probably in trouble. And you might want to sit back and reassess and pray if you should even be in that relationship. Okay, so this was a lot this week, but we challenge one another so we can grow and we can be our best selves in every area of our lives. And guess what? Relationships are a huge part of most of our lives, and specifically I'm talking about romantic relationships today. And that's just the reality they are. Now I'm going to share, I know my time up, y'all, but let me just share this little bit with you, because before I recorded this, I went walking, right? Because I try to walk every day. And so, I'm listening to YouTube music and my usual lineup is, doing this little run through. And then like all of a sudden, in the middle of like my gospel lineup, this song by her comes on, like, just like boom, right smack dab in the middle. And I was like, okay, YouTube, you tripping. But I didn't skip it, right? I didn't skip the song. I just let it play. I'm walking. And I'm really glad that I let it play because what she was saying caught my ear. And I was like, oh, this is so perfect for what I'm talking about this week on the podcast. So you guys, I just want you to hear what she said. I just took like I think it's 5 lines out from the song. And I was like, what? So, okay, listen to this. She said, I hate you on most days. So she in a relationship, and the person she in a relationship, she said, I hate you on most days. Huh? Not just like 1 or 2 days here and there. I hate you on most days. That's like 90% of the relationship. Okay, then another line was, if I have to choose between my heart or you, I'm going to lose? Huh? No, 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 no. That's just so wrong on every level. We don't have time to go into it. Okay, then she says, even when you cause tears, you're the one who wipes them away. And maybe that's why I stay. Oh, ma'am, no, ma'am. So, okay, he's so affectionate that he's wiping your tears away. But you wouldn't even have any tears because your own confession was he's the one who caused them. Okay, so I think this is the last one I'm going to say. What if nothing ever will change? So if nothing will ever change based on those 3 previous statements, again, I'm going to say, get out, like run for the border. And I know I'm making light of this, but seriously, how many of us as women have lived this or something similar to this when knowing you're in an unhealthy relationship and then trying to figure out how to get out or making excuses to stay, which is even worse, making excuses to stay in the unhealthy relationship. And I know, you guys, I know it's just a song, but be careful what you are meditating on and feeding your spirit, because if you continue to rehearse these kind of lines, you may start to believe that stuff, even though it's just a song. So, it's all just food for thought. I'm always here to just share again so that we can grow. So I hope, anything I share today helps someone who is listening on the other side. So I guess that's it, y'all. All right. Yes, that is it. That's all I got for you this week. Make sure you remember to check out SheCast every Thursday when new episodes drop, and I will see you next time. And remember, what do I always say at the end? Together we grow. All right, y'all. I enjoyed myself today. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time.